Hello and welcome back, and today I'm going to be building this diorama kit for this little greenhouse. So let's just open it up and see what's inside of it. So starting off, I have some fake flowers, fake plants, a bunch of vines, glue, and of course the instructions kit, and then a bunch of things to build the house. So starting off, I just opened up the instructions kit and decided to do whatever it said first, and it said to make flowers. So here I am. I started with putting a pom-pom in the center, which I didn't really think would gonna stick on that well because it was this glue, and I don't really trust this type of glue. I don't know, I feel like it just doesn't really work as well. Personally, I like to use hot glue, but it actually turned out really good. Then I had this leaf added on, and here how it is. And then I got started on a purple flower. So it's the same exact thing except purple. And when I was actually cutting out the stems for these, I didn't know how I should be cutting it because the instructions were kind of unclear on it. So I kind of just winged it, and then it turned out good though. I actually had enough room for all of the flowers because I didn't really realize I was going to have that many flowers. Put on the leaf and did it actually properly this time where I had 2 leaves instead of 1, and then got started on the second type of flower. So this second flower, I started off with just taking that little rectangle as you kind of saw at first, folded it in half, and then cut a bunch of little slits in it. Then I pulled out these purple petals and then wrapped it all the way around, and this is my favorite part, tying it all because it was so satisfying. So then I did that again for 3 other flowers. So cut out the stems, rolled up the flower petals, glued them on, tied it up, and then repeated the same exact process for the next ones. And this was actually really easy. It did take me a while because of the rolling part. It just took me quite some time to figure it out. But after I finished it up, it was super simple and really easy to complete. Finishing up the last little one, I loved tying them on. It was my favorite part. And here they are. I think that they turned out really good. And to do it again, I have this, except it is black and yellow. So I cut all of them all together, and then I decided to roll them all up at the start, so maybe take a little bit less time assembling them all together. Don't know if it really did anything, kind of was taking the same amount of time, but it definitely made it feel like it was going by much quicker. This set was definitely so much easier than the last one because I knew what I was doing a lot more, and I also had really just set up everything super quickly, and it was so much easier. I liked it a lot more. And then these ones actually, they didn't have flowers like the other ones, and it was only 3, so here they are. And then after I finished up that, I finally got to assembling some pieces. So I thought that this was going to be really easy, but then I didn't really like how the glue was being used. I feel like it was too much glue, so I kind of just left them upside down like that. I don't know, I think it turned out good in the end, and it still worked, so I just left them like that to dry. I got started on a few little decoration pieces. So I just started off by taking everything out and then decided to do these skeleton heads first. So I filled them up with a bunch of this glue and some leaves and flowers, and then I thought it was going to take too long to dry, so I took it all out and wiped off the glue and used hot glue, which was so much easier. I then did the same for this little plant right here, but then I actually glued it onto the stool. I should have let the stools dry a little bit longer, and you can tell because a few times I mess up with the little legs, but it still was okay in the end, and none of them turned out too messed up. Then I got started on this little floating shelf. So the way I did it was I built the shelf first, then put it on this little clear piece, and I think I was supposed to attach the little decoration pieces in first, and I found this little dowel that I used while making the flowers. Didn't know what else to use. And I kind of struggled a little bit, but they were able to go in perfectly. Now this was something that I really messed up on. I had to redo this a bunch of times because the pieces aren't really labeled as much as they are on the paper. Maybe they were and I just couldn't find them. But once I actually found the pieces and I made sure that they were right, it turned out really good. Then I filled it up with glue. I like all the little sections too. And then added on this fake moss and then a bunch of leaves and flowers and pumpkins, whatever decoration I had. Except for the flowers and the pumpkin, I only used what it had said in the actual kit because I didn't want to accidentally use something that I was going to need for later. Then I got started on actually making the greenhouse. So I was super excited for this and I got straight into building it, and I kind of messed up a little bit while I was trying to set it all up like this. Decided I actually did need to put in the little clear piece. And then forgot about this little piece here, the planter box, so I kind of had to take apart a bunch of things for it to then make it fit properly, ending up taking everything off, realizing I had accidentally placed the whole planter box shelf on wrong. So I decided I was going to glue that in first, make sure it was all good, then stuck everything back together. And it was a little bit difficult trying to get it all back together. It was a little bit lifted up from like the glue from when I messed up, but it still turned out really good. Then putting on the base, which is perfect because I was able to put extra decorations on, which you'll see later. Then I got started on the little roof part. I didn't know if they were different sizes, so I was kind of messing with that at first, and I don't think they actually were, so I put them on however I wanted. Then after that was done, I had these little pieces here, which I glued on, which I later actually found that there were stickies I was supposed to use to like stick them on, but I think the hot glue was much better, honestly, because I feel like it's just gonna work better. Anyways, did that on the first side, made sure it was all stuck down, then did that on the second side. And at first I was like, this is really messy, and well, it's not really like messy, it's just, it didn't match the wood paneling from the actual roof. So I was kind of a little bit upset about that. And then put in a little pumpkin before putting on the roof because I knew I was going to have to do that. And then here I am realizing, oh hey, I'm going to cover it up anyways. So it turned out good in the end, and it was all nice and covered. Didn't know which side I was supposed to put these on, so I just put them on whatever one I thought looked best. And then gluing down all these panels, which really, like, it one made them solid and stuck in there. You can kind of see me testing a little bit. But two, it made it just more cohesive. Putting on little bats onto these, I think they're like trees, and then to put on all of the little vines. So this was really difficult because I thought it was all going to be like one vine, and then I kind of just make it a little bit differently. No, it's all a bunch of little different like twigs, and I had to make it all look like one vine, so it was really difficult. Paused it, came back later, and it was all done. Then to get on like the little moss, I think it's meant to be like leaves on it, but I kind of made it more like moss. So just sprinkling on the little green pieces right here. And this was actually really easy because all I really did was putting glue on it and then sprinkling little pieces on. And I had kind of given up on keeping my desk like clean, so I really didn't care anymore. Here it is. This was so easy too, and I had a little straw to like make sure I got all the little pieces off the plastic because it was really difficult. Then to do the base. So I knew I was going to need this little like moss kind of as the base, and I also used the extra little bits of the green. Time to now put in every final little touch. So you can't really see it too well, which is okay because you'll get to see it in the final reveal. I mean, you can see me placing in all of these little pieces, and it's all starting to come together so well. I didn't think it was actually going to turn out this good. Like, when I was looking at how it was all turning out separately, I was like, that's not going to be good. But then all together, it looks so good. And I actually had to look back at it a few more days later to like get the final clips. And I was like, I can't even believe like how detailed it is. It was so good. And then now that I've already finished like the whole thing, I then just kind of went in with extra little pieces that I had to fill up more space to make it look a lot more abandoned kind of. I think that was the whole like look of it, or spooky. So here I have this little leaf that I didn't end up using, so place that in there too. And I kind of just decided to put anything where I thought it looked best, which kind of meant like using a lot of the pieces that had fallen on my desk and reused them, which was perfect too because I had less to clean up later. Anyways, I love that the way this turned out. I think it was so detailed and so perfect for Halloween, so happy Halloween too. And here it is. The quality isn't that great, but you can still see everything and how detailed it is. Like every little corner, there is something that's really detailed and really put together in it. And I just love it so much. The bats were the only thing that I'm kind of like, I don't know, because they kind of blend in to like the tree, I think, in the background. But I still think it looks so cute. And everything is just put together so nicely. And it all came together. Here it is. Anyways, I may or may not change this outro later because I'm doing a new posting schedule, but I will see you next month. Bye!